Hi there, Auzzie Yazd here with you today. Here to talk to you about one of my favorite wine-making regions, Champagne. So I have 67 wines exclusive Champagne. This is their Champagne Vincent Couche, Cuvee 67. So this wine, although you can find other wines from Vincent Couche at other retail locations, you can only find the Cuvee 67 at 67 Wines. So something really, really cool about that. It is a Champagne, so meaning that there's a second fermentation that happens that gives it a nice effervescent quality to it, making it more sparkling and usually associated with like celebration. I like to drink my champagne out of a white wine glass because you're able to sort of swirl the glass, really acknowledge the aromatics, and see the wine as more, see it as more of a wine that happens to be sparkling versus just a sparkling wine, if that makes sense to you. Because they have so much aromatics in each glass. So Vincent Couche is a biodynamic grower-producer coming from the southernmost part of Champagne in the Côte d'Ivoire. The grape composition is going to be 83% Pinot Noir and 17% Chardonnay. So it is primarily red wine. It's primarily juice coming from a red grape. However, because they're able to remove the skins and just press the pulp of the grape of the grape itself, which is white, it's able to make a white wine. It is a biodynamic and organic wine, so the wine is harvested organically without the use of pesticides, and then biodynamic, meaning that's coming from a vineyard site that is self-sustaining, so each part of the vineyard sort of relies on the next part and the next part and the next part, operating as total units and not as separate units. Really, really delightful wine. On the nose, you get this really beautiful, like, sort of baked apple note to it. Because it's primarily coming from Pinot Noir, I get more of, like, a red apple note, while still having a little bit of lemon zest. And then I also get, like, a slight touch of ripe raspberries, and definitely a really, really nice, like, brioche-ness, too. That is normally associated with Champagne because it spends so much time aging in comparison to many other wines before being released. On the palate, so I definitely confirm those citrus notes and those orchard fruit notes. Definitely get like that baked apple pie quality to it with like a little bit of like cinnamon and nutmeg. But it also has a really, really nice piercing acidity. If you watched my last video, you know how much I love acidity because it really makes, it gives a lighter style of wine the strength to sort of stand up to food that's a little bit richer than it because it's able to cut through that richness and complement it versus be overpowered by it. So you could drink this wine as an aperitif. It would go great with shellfish or oysters. It'd also be really, really nice with like a richer style fish or chicken dish, maybe with like a nice light mushroom creamy sauce to it. Or you could even pair this with like a goat cheese that has a little bit more body, a little bit more like hazy characteristics to it. And it would just kind of like pair nicely because, you know, who doesn't love apples and cheese at the same time? So I definitely recommend this wine, exclusively available at 67 Wines, so the Vincent Couche Cuvee 67. Thank you so much. See you next time.